Good morning, Flosstube. I'm Misty Purcell. Today is Monday, the 2nd of September. It's Labor Day in the United States. I'm also known as Luminous Fiber Arts on Instagram and Facebook and Etsy. I am the designer and fabric dyer behind Luminous Fiber Arts. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, but I want to try to keep the video shorter, so I guess I will be kind of fast and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it won't feel too rushed for you today. You can see I have Halloweenified my space and it's awesome. So I spent some time yesterday doing that since it's a long weekend and was happy to get my decorations out because I love Halloween and I believe there are 58 days until Halloween, just FYI. Okay. So let's just get to the announcements and then we'll talk about projects and other stuff. I mentioned in my last video that there was a sampler exhibit at the Tabor Museum in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It was originally going to end September 1st, but they've extended the dates to September 29th, I believe. So I'll link that again below. If you're in the somewhat vicinity and want to go check it out, you have more time to do so. Okay. Next, the winner of the fabric giveaway. So on my last video, I asked people to help me name my new fabric color that'll be coming out later this month. It's kind of a goldish yellowish color. And you guys just had the best names. Like, I don't even know why I bother to name fabrics anymore because you have better names than I do. And just like really interesting ones, creative ones, funny ones, cute ones. It was very difficult to choose. But there was one name that I started reading through the comments, and I apologize, I haven't had a chance to like everyone's comment yet, but I did read through them all. As I was reading through them, I was making lists of which, I should put this down and stop waving it at you. I was making a list of my favorite names, and one just kept kind of coming back in my mind and staying with me. And so I decided that had to be the name of the fabric. There were so many good names, so it was really difficult to choose, but I decided to go with Opulence, which was suggested by Carla Burgoon. So congratulations, Carla. You will be receiving a fat 1/8 of Opulence and in the fabric base and count of your choice. So I've already contacted Carla this morning to let her know. Congratulations and thank you. And thank you to everyone. Again, you just had so many great ideas. It was so fun to read your comments. So the second winner of the giveaway, because I had 2 giveaways, the second giveaway was for something I buried. Okay. This adorable design by Amanda May of Art of Design, and she had provided this as a complimentary chart, and so she allowed me to do it as a giveaway in my last video. And I had asked how you eat honey, or how if you don't eat honey, you could say that, in order to enter the giveaway to win this chart. And the winner was Jody Bedard, and Jody said that she likes to eat honey on top of vanilla ice cream with cinnamon, which sounds fantastic. I would totally eat that. And I also learned from reading your comments about how you eat honey that a lot of people eat honey with peanut butter. And I apparently have been living under a rock because it just never occurred to me to combine honey and peanut butter. And I've never heard of anyone eating the 2 of them together. But it sounds pretty good. A lot of you do eat them together on bread or something. Mostly I've eaten honey on biscuits or in tea, which a lot of you mentioned as well. So I'm kind of hungry now, reading all of your comments and thinking about ice cream with honey and cinnamon on it. Trusty coffee. Coffee is a faithful friend, I like to say. Thank you for your incredible reception of my latest design, A Raven's Reply. Thank you for the kind comments, the encouragement, the enthusiasm. I'm so thankful. I have print patterns back in stock. They had sold out. I've got them back in stock. And floss packs are sold out, but I'm getting more in. So probably about a week from now, I'll have floss packs again. There are a couple of stitch alongs going on right now related to this design. One is started by Michelle. She's Maine Moose Mom Stitcher on Instagram. And that one is called Misty's Bird Sal. And you can stitch any of the birds that I design now or in the future. There is another one coming out soon. as part of the sale. So it's just an ongoing sale, and that's hosted by Michelle. And then Anna, she's Woolly Mammoth 53. She is also starting a stitch along, and it's called Never Raven Sal. And she's doing that with a friend. She does quilt videos, the Quilt Roadies, I believe it's called. And I've seen a couple of her videos. And now she's doing Flosstube as well. So her Flosstube channel is Stitch Roadies. I've watched a couple of her videos. You should check her out. Check out the quilt ones too if you're interested in quilting, because they're cool. Okay, currently I have a sale. So in honor of 1 year of designing, I hit my 1 year mark yesterday. So September 1st last year, I released Spooky October. And in honor of a year of designing and to thank you for all of your support, any of my designs, whether in print or PDF, are on sale in my Etsy shop from September 1st through the 3rd. And the price is already discounted, so you don't have to enter any code. And also Floss Packs for Berry Buzz are on sale as well. The sale only applies during the dates September 1st to 3rd, and it only applies to things that are in stock. So if a print pattern sells out, and I don't have more right now, I wouldn't have more to sell you. Okay, if you have any questions, you can just ask me in the comments. And if you'd like to receive emails from me with my newsletter for information about when I have any special events going on, new releases, fabric updates, new patterns, and from other designers, etc., you can send it from my newsletter. I always link it below the video. I send out a newsletter typically once or twice a month. And if you have any trouble signing up, I know they do this weird like verification to make sure you're not a robot, and it's kind of annoying, and so I apologize. If you have any trouble signing up or you don't want to deal with that, if you just want to email me, misty@luminousfiberarts.com, I'll be happy to sign you up. I just need your first and last name and your email address, and I can sign you up, and I can push the annoying little boxes to prove that I'm a human, and then you don't have to. Okay, I think that's... So I did want to do some shout outs. I did shout out Anna, Woolly Mammoth, but Stitch Roadies. I had a couple other people I want to shout out, but I don't have time because I want to keep this short to go into as much detail as I'd like. So I think I'm going to hold off till my next video to do that. So let's talk about what I've been stitching. I had a new start. I know. How many new starts am I going to have? Well, I just can't stop myself. And I'm enjoying it. I'm not stressed. So if I'm not stressed, I'm just going to have a good time. So I've been wanting to start this since last year. I think this came out last year. Yeah, 2018. So since last year, I've been wanting to start this, and I decided that at last it was time to do so. And I was like, I've got to dye like the perfect fabric for this. I didn't know exactly what that was going to be, but I just knew I had to do it. So it ended up being the new color Opulence. And I am stitching this on 46 count, which dyes up a bit lighter and a bit more brown, a little less yellow than it does on the other counts and the other bases. So the 46 count is lighter. And I am using Peacoat by Weeks Dye Works rather than, I believe it called for Onyx, which would have looked great on this too, but I was just kind of in a bluish, blackish mood. So I'm enjoying this little stitch, and I am using, am I using it on this? No, that's on the other project. I'll talk about that in a minute. Do I want to say anything else about this? It's fun. It's going pretty fast. I had like last Saturday I had a just do whatever I wanted day, a kind of unscheduled day and unstructured. I started this, I sat around watching Friends, I sat on my couch, and I had a great day. I need those days sometimes. I'm trying to have more of them. I have a couple copies of this in my shop if you're looking for it. This is a great design. I love the 3 birds she did in this style. Also the red bird and the turkey. Those will have to get done too. You know, can you see that I like birds? Yes. Okay, so that was my new start, which, like I said, I started that last Saturday. And that I included in my 24 hours of cross stitch monthly acrostic challenge. How did I do on that? I did okay. I got most of the letters completed, but not all of them. The reality is that I'm doing a lot of model stitching, and I am making progress on my, you know, other people's stuff that I'm stitching for fun, but the priority is the model stitching because I've got a lot of it to do. And I'm not counting it in my acrostic. So I'm having trouble managing the challenge. I wanted it to be challenging, but every time that I've done it so far, I can't meet the challenge. So I'm doing September, but I need to rethink how I do it. Maybe I do the 24 minutes, or maybe I do some other amount of time that's actually like doable but slightly challenging. I don't know. I have to think about that a little bit. Here's Peacoat. It's kind of blackish, grayish blue. It's a really pretty color. I used it in my Snow Many Friends design, and I really love that color. Okay, whips. I've got Hollow's Eve at Raven's Hollow, and I'm doing this as part of a stitch along. This is the CC Hollow's Eve Sal that Christy and Crystal are doing. This is by With Thy Needle and Thread. I am stitching this on 40 count Whisper, which is one of my fabrics. And you can see that I've made some pretty good progress. So this is using all of the called for flosses. I don't have hickory sticks yet, so I'm not doing hickory sticks until it comes in. I was watching Susie Reno, and she was talking about the ball tip needles. So I got a set in to try. I'm using a size 26 on this. And I like using it. It's really nice for the sewing method stitching in hand. You get less splitting. So I'm using it for this project and I like it. I wanted to test it out before I got it in for you guys, just to be able to tell you what I thought. So I approve. I will be ordering more for the shop, so you should be able to find those pretty soon in my shop. I thought at first when I started stitching the vines, I wasn't sure I was crazy about the color, but then I actually really like it and I'm glad I didn't change it. And what else do I want to say about this? That's a lot of vines. I got tired of them at times, and other times I enjoyed them. Oh, I stitched the little berry things. They kind of look like bittersweet. I stitched those the wrong shade. They're supposed to be a lighter color. Oh well, I'm not taking them out. That is that. Then I'm also stitching Bitter Brew as part of the FF Scary Apothecary Sal. And I finally got the orange. Wish I knew what color names were. The orange filled in. That was a lot of stitching. You can see I'm also doing this in hand. This is the only 2 thread that I'm doing sewing method on. I think it still looks pretty good. I would say that my stitching looks a little bit better on a frame with 2 strands, but at least from this distance, I don't think you can tell. I think it looks fine. I like how there's like a little bit of a lightness right across the word bitter. I was trying to decide if I was going to do the back stitch outlining here. Here's the chart. I think it does need it. So I will be doing that. And I haven't done the gray yet. I was trying to get this filled in so that I could make sure there was enough contrast. So I'll be doing that. I'm using a week's conversion of my own creation. And that is coming along splendidly. This is also Whisper. You can see there's a little bit of a difference. Or maybe not, I don't know. In person, there's a slight difference in shade between 32 count and 40, but oh, this is upside down. Who cares? But not very much. I don't even think you could tell here, but like I said, it's just very, very slight. Although honestly, maybe it's just the effect of the holes being more spaced apart. I think that's actually what it is. Okay. Another whip is Away We Ride. This was my birthday start. and I've been working on this a little bit. It's not that it's hard, and once I sit down to stitch it, it's fine, but there is like a mental block that I have around this right now where I don't always feel like whatever amount of effort my mind thinks I need to put in, but it's really not bad, and it's such a cute house. I like that house a lot. So my Weasley house, as I call it, is coming along nicely. I haven't touched the border in a while. I'm kind of scared to go back to it. Not because it's hard, but because I get a little tired of it. It's an awesome design. It would be awesome if I finished it this year before Halloween, but I'm just gonna go with the flow. That's my new thing. I'm trying to go with the flow. Okay, now I have not worked on this in quite some time. Oh, that's on 40 count macchiato, by the way. I'll show it again. And I'm using all the call for threads except for the orange. I changed that. Then last weekend, I started Tis the Season design from Blackbird Designs. It's in this book. It was also in another book. And if you'll remember, if you were watching me back then, or if you've been binge watched me or any of the above, I talked about a while ago how, where is it? I talked about how this had been out in the other book, and then that went out of print, and I hadn't bought it, and then of course it went out of print, and then I really wanted to stitch it, and I couldn't get it for love or money, and then thank goodness they had reprinted it in this book. And then I started it for the Sal, and they're also the same group on Facebook that Lynette had started for this. They're restarting like more things from this book, so there's just like a general stitch along going on. You can stitch anything from this and just say what you're working on. I'm going back to the Cardinal because I didn't get too far last year. I kind of knew when we decided that it was going to be a Labor Day start that wasn't like great timing for me, just because classes had started and fall is usually a very busy semester. So this is where I stopped. This is a 40 count that I hand dyed myself with Rit dye back before I was dyeing to sell fabric. I'm using silks mostly, but some not silks. So this is not a color that I offer. I am trying to come up with something kind of similar because I really like this color. Let's see if I can show you a little bit better with this behind it. Yeah, it kind of needs to be back. It's kind of like mint green, but it's more blue. And it's got more brown. I really like it. Anyway, so I got that back out to start working on that again. It would be nice if I could get to it today. I don't know if I will, but I'd like to. I kind of got oversaturated with that too. Between one, I didn't have a lot of time, and two, everyone was stitching that bird. And it was so awesome to see it, but then at some point I'd seen that bird so much it felt like I'd stitched it 10 times, and then I just was like, okay, I can't do this right now. But I've had some space, and now I'm ready. Okay. From the archives, I decided to bring that back. I haven't done that in a while. And especially with all the Halloween stuff I have out, it's time. I have a lot of handmade Halloween. I like to do handmade Halloween every year, and Christmas. I like to do handmade decorations for every holiday every year, at least one. So I made a garland, and I don't have a great display of this. I'll show it to you. I'll show you some kind of crappy photos. I made the garland when I lived in a different place, and it was easier to display it there than it is in my current place. And where I live now, the kitchen and the living room are divided, and then there's a big opening with railings in between so you can see into the kitchen. And I have the garland hanging there, but there's like wood around the outside that's not painted, and you just don't see it real well. And it does not photograph well at all. It looks really crappy. But let me show you what it is. It is crocheted, and it's all kind of, you know, tangled up because I just took it off the wall and it likes to tangle. So what I did, there's a pattern called like Day of the Dead crochet skull. I think she used a crochet thread, maybe a size 10, and I want to say I used almost a sport weight that I'd picked up somewhere. And I adapted the pattern slightly. There was something about the way that she had done it that I didn't quite like, so I changed it slightly. I don't remember what I did because I didn't put it in my Ravelry notes to tell you. But I started crocheting these skulls, knowing that I wanted to do some kind of garland, but not knowing how I wanted to display it. And then eventually I got the idea to put these felted balls in between each skull. So first, I thought I would make my own felted balls, and I bought some roving and I attempted it, and I'm like, no, leave this to the professionals. This takes forever to do by hand. So I went on Etsy and I went to, let me see who the shop was, Crafty Wool Felt, and I bought a bag of black and orange felted balls, and I was really happy to pay her to make these for me. And then, so I wanted this to be adjustable, and knowing that, you know, I might move or I might want to display this somewhere else, this is all adjustable. So what I did was I just took a strand of crochet thread and kind of spaced out where I wanted the skulls to be. So when I got to a skull, I wrapped it once around the top there. You probably won't be able to see, but I like went in and then went through it again. And with the beads, the balls, I just took like a tapestry needle, I mean that's what this was all on, and threaded it through them. So the skulls are stationary, but I can adjust them if I need to, and the felt balls are not held in place, so I can shift them up and down. And then I just tied a little knot on the end, and I have them hanging from push pins. But that way I can kind of shift things around if I need to. I can make this shorter if I needed to. I wanted it to be kind of adjustable. So that is something I made years ago and finished up, and I really like seeing it every year. So I'll link the pattern and that Etsy shop that sells those felt balls in case you're interested. Okay, haul slash gifts. Melanie, I believe she said she had an extra copy, and I've been seeing this popping up everywhere, so I was really happy to get it because I didn't know about it. She had an extra copy. She was kind enough to send this to me. This is Cereal Bowl Collection, and this is lesson 4 of sampler lessons. And how perfect is this for this time of year with those cute little pumpkins? Look at those sweet sheep. It even comes with the floss and that trim. This is awesome. Paula is so good. So I was really excited. So thank you, Melanie. I was really excited to get this. I went to Joann's, and I was going there. I actually forgot why I went there because I got so distracted, which is kind of embarrassing. But I went there for a sketchbook. I was looking around with their Halloween decor and then just kind of browsing. And at some point I'm like, okay, why am I here? There was something specific I was here for. Luckily, it did come back to me. I'd have been really not happy with myself if I'd like walked out completely forgetting what I wanted. I got this gray pom-pom trim, which is a really cool color. I think it'd be great for Halloween stuff. I got these awesome pumpkins. And I was talking with Helen and Barbie about these. Barbie said she'd use something similar to finish some stuff last year. I think it was last year. So I knew I'd seen it somewhere. Maybe I've seen it from someone else as well, but I had to get them. And I'll just paint them, but I don't want to paint them until I know what I'm going to put on them. So that if I want to paint them like gray or gray blue, white, orange, whatever, you know, I can do that once I've decided what color they need to be. So I think those will be great. So these were at Joann's as well. And then if you've been following me on Instagram, you saw this already, probably. Another Veronique Anjange book. This is Fables and Fairy Tales to Cross Stitch. I'd seen this on Amazon and I didn't think that I needed it. I was like, well, that's cute, but I don't necessarily need it. And I think someone even showed it on their channel. I don't remember who. I just remember they were talking about the cabbages. which there is a fairy tale, a French fairy tale about cabbages, growing cabbages. So sorry, I don't remember who showed it. It's not easy to show you pictures from the book because the chart is right across from the design. But I will, at the end of the video, I will insert some photos from the book in case you'd like to see and you didn't see them on Instagram. There's some really cute things in here. So once I saw it in person, I was like, okay, I have to have that. Even if I never stitched anything from it, it's just so inspiring. You can see the Jack and the Beanstalk. It's just so inspiring and sweet. Like, I was just happy to look at it. It just made me happy. So if I'm just curating a collection, that's okay too. I also purchased a couple things that I don't really have a physical thing to show you. I follow someone on Instagram who's a knitting designer, and her design name is UkeeKnits. Her actual name is Faye Kennington. She'd released, maybe last year, a set of Christmas stockings that were Fair Isle that had really cute patterns across the top and really pretty designs. And they were in my queue. And then she started a new set this year. And I just died. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. One had like a little truck. There was like coffee cups, mice. It was just too much cuteness. And you know that I'm a sucker for like Fair Isle knitted things for decorations. If you've been watching for a while, I like tiny stuff. I like Fair Isle. So she was having a really good sale. I think she still is. And I was just like, just take my money. Like, just take it. So I'm going to insert pictures here of the two patterns that I purchased. And the patterns are for all of the stockings that you see in the picture. So there's a lot of charts. And I read through the instructions. They're really good. There's lots of pages of photos and explanations of how to do Fair Isle on one of them and how to finish the stocking on another one. So they're both really great. So you may want to check that out. I will link her patterns. And then the other thing that I was really excited to see, I make felted Christmas ornaments, felt Christmas ornaments. And I showed those in a previous video. I didn't remember to bring them down to show you, but I showed them in a video a while ago. They're by Larissa, Holland. She's mmmcrafts. She has a blog. She has an Etsy shop. She's on Instagram. And I had been making the 12 days series because I'm a sucker for a 12 days series. And she's finished designing that. I'm only like a few pieces into the 12 days series. And then she hasn't come out with anything for a while. She's been working on some designs. She just came out with a new one. And it's a 'Twas the Night Before Christmas series. And she came out with Santa. OMG. I cannot imagine the amount of work that must go into creating just one of these designs. Like, all of the testing that she must do, the cutting out of felt, the drawing, the pattern pieces. It is worth every penny that you pay to buy these patterns. They're very detailed. The instructions are clear. There's diagrams. You print them out onto... It's a sulky product. They changed the name. It used to be Fabrisolvi. I think it's called Stick and Stitch now. I don't know. It's on the pattern. And then you just stick that to your felt, and then you cut it out and it shows you where to embroider, and it's awesome. So the Santa is amazing. It looks like he's quite a bit of work, but I am willing to do quite a bit of work for awesome things sometimes. So I bought Santa. I'm going to go to Michael's and see if I can find some wooden ball pieces to do the head. So I'm going to insert a picture here, and I'm going to link that in case you are also a sucker for such things. What else? Oh, Holland and I did an interview. There's a Flosstube collaboration that Cheryl McKinney started, and the latest collaboration is fabrics. And so I had the pleasure of being interviewed by Helen D about my fabric dyeing process and my fabrics, and it was really fun. We did a phone call, a Skype phone call, and recorded that. So if you haven't seen that video, you might like to check that out. I will link that below, and there's a giveaway going on that video for fabric. That that was, yeah, that was really fun. I wish Holland and I could talk on the phone more often. Okay, is that everything? I don't know. If it's not, it doesn't matter now, right? Oh, I should say when no. Do I need to say anything else? No. Okay. It seems like I forgot to delete some stuff from my last notes that are still on this page, so then I was confused. My shop update will be in a couple weeks, so watch for my newsletter. Yeah, if I forgot anything, I guess it's too late now because it's not coming to me. I hope you have a great couple of weeks. I hope you get lots of stitching in. And, is there anything else? Sorry, I'm spacing out at the last minute. Maybe I need lunch. Thank you for all of your awesome comments. Thank you for taking the time to leave them. I really appreciate them. And I look forward to talking to you in a couple weeks. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.